Okay, hello everybody. We are recording. I am so excited for today for our leadership call, kind of powwow before we head into summertime. And if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Katie Herold. I'm a presidential diamond. I've been with the company as of this next Sunday. It's going to be 4 years. Totally crazy. You all know my story, so it's not about me today. We have a very special guest with us, and I'm so excited to talk to her because she is a brand new presidential diamond, top 150. So I am super pumped. So I'm just going to get right into it and take it over to Rachel so you can introduce yourself and tell us your story, tell us everything.
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is so exciting to do this. And I love doing Zooms in the morning because my team never can do it. So I feel like, I don't know, this is just super cool. So I'm Rachel Jones. I'm, like he said, a new presidential in the company. I'm going to be celebrating 3 years in September. So that's cool. That went really fast. So I'm 2.5 years in and I'm 24. When I joined, I was 22 and I was still in college. I was going to school for social work. I think I was starting my senior year of college, yeah. And I had online classes and then I had in-person classes. I had an 8-month-old son at the time. My husband had just proposed a week before I joined It Works. So I was doing, all the wedding planning stuff that what it's like if you're married. And then I was a waitress. I was a full-time waitress. It was actually part-time, but they were 10-hour shifts, and I was doing 4 to 5 a week. So I would be going in at 4, and then I'd get off at 4 in the morning. So I was gone a big portion of the day when I was working, but I had to do that to get, the tips. And so my husband, he was a manager at a call center, and so he was on salary pay, and they really abused his hours. They were always having him stay later or come in earlier, and so we just never saw each other. And so I definitely know what it's like to be busy, and I'm sure there's probably some people on here that maybe are still working. So I know what it's like, to go to school and to work and to wedding plan and to have a kid. Like, my kid was 8 months old, but I still felt like I was a new mom because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And we were on government assistance. And so we were just living paycheck to paycheck, just assuming that that's just how life is supposed to be because we got pregnant when we were 20 and we weren't married and I was still in school and all that stuff. We just thought that that was how life was supposed to be. So while living paycheck to paycheck kind of sucks, like what sucked more was just not seeing my significant other and having to always drop my kid off at my best friend's house and then my husband to be the one to pick him up and just never seeing each other. Maybe 1 or 2 days a week I would see him as I was walking out the door and he was coming back in. So I wasn't looking for It Works, but I did try a different network marketing company in my freshman year of college, and it was a fluke. I didn't do well. You had to deliver the products door to door, and it wasn't, not my thing. So I was in that for like 2 months, and I didn't do it. So when I saw It Works on my Facebook, my husband's like, heck no. Like, we know how this stuff goes because you sucked at the first one. And I only wanted to try the wrap, so I bought one wrap with my birthday money, and then I just had really good results, and she tried getting me to be a customer. I couldn't afford that. When I expressed that I couldn't afford it, she got me on her team somehow. And my husband wasn't all about it. He's not an a-hole or anything, but he just was like, we don't have the money. End of story. It's not something that's worth trying to find the money for because you're probably not going to be good. Like, just saying stuff that I already knew. I texted my husband and I texted my mom saying, like, here's the deal. I'm going to join this company. I don't know much about it, blah, blah, blah. And they both shut it down. But I had my heart set on it because I just had this really weird feeling. And I didn't even know much about it, but I had this feeling like that I could do good. And I'm up for a challenge all the time. And so my husband saying like, I couldn't do it. I'm like, I want to show him that I can. And so we used our credit card, and I truly knew that we didn't have much left on our credit card. So I did know that I had to really make something of it. But he told me, you just have to make your $100 back. If you don't do good, you don't do good, but make that $100 back so we can pay off our credit card. And so I did, and I just went ham, and I just talked to everybody I knew, and I didn't even know that many people, but I just used social media, and I went diamond in 3 months, and I went double in 5 months. And then at 5 months, Zach was the diamond to my double. We promoted that morning on the second to last day of February. We promoted in the morning, moved into our home that afternoon, and the next day we both quit our jobs, not even knowing what we were going to make as doubles, but we just were like, hey, once we quit, we know we got to go like all in. And then we just never looked back. I went triple a year later, and then it took me a year to go Prez. When I went triple, I was like 20 spots away from Prez, but then life happened, and I'm sure I'm going to talk about that, but just life got really freaking hard and it knocked me down. And I think a lot of people are probably struggling with like life happening. It just knocked me down longer than I thought, all of summer and fall. And so that was last year. And then I had January came and I was like, I'm sick and tired of this, and I'll be damned if I have to go back to work and be like a freaking joke on social media. And so I was about 46 spots away in January from Prez. And I'm like, I'm just not going to be scared by that number. I'm not going to be scared. Like, I can do it. And I went in April. So that's a little bit about my story. I know I'll get more into like more details, but that's pretty much where I started and where I'm at now.
Awesome. Well, I love your story. Obviously I was on the call last night, but I didn't get to hear like.
I didn't tell my story.
Yeah.
Tell my story. Yeah.
You never know what she's going to ask you.
I know.
Okay, so let's get really real, because I'll just throw it out there. 2016, the second half wasn't what we thought it was going to be, right? And
oh my gosh,
it just seemed like it was a company-wide vibe, and so we can all relate to that. And I think we can all relate to losing rank, having to change things around in our lives because of it, and feeling like I don't want to be here. So I would love if you got into like just the realness of what happened after you went triple, because I think a lot of people really need to hear it.
Yeah, so I went triple last February. February of 2016, I went triple, and then when March hit and we got that first check, my check was $13,000. And I remember Tiffany called me and she was like, that was bigger than my first triple. Like, you don't even know how strong your team is and you got to run. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is so cool. And I ran that next month. And then my check actually jumped up to 16 as a triple. And Tiffany called me again and was like, you don't even know you're going to be top 100. Like, pumping me up. But then I actually found out I was pregnant the last day of March. So I was so newly pregnant that I didn't really feel it I didn't have any like sickness or anything all of April when I got that $16,000 check. And then I started getting like very, very ill every single day. And I like more than just puking every day, I felt like I was dying. I was just like so exhausted and so like just tired. And so I started doing the bare minimum of like posting and whatnot. And we actually had to boost to maintain triple. And when we boosted a good amount, my check went down to 11,000. And my husband's like, I can see what's happening here, and we're not going to keep on boosting. And so I boosted a couple more times. But
when you say boosted, is that like just your term for basically like putting in orders?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not use that? What do you say?
Putting in orders, personal orders. I don't know.
Oh, everyone always. I thought everyone just calls it boosting.
Oh no, I've never heard it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so yeah, boosting. I guess I don't know. That's what I thought it was. We did that a couple more months, and I just kept getting more and more sick. And I ended up finally, like, I think it was the last month of summer, maybe. My husband's like, you need to wrap your head around the fact that we're not boosting this month and you're going to lose your rank. And life happened. We kind of had a couple hiccups in our marriage. And I just was like, I felt like I was like having a midlife crisis, and I'm 24 years old. I was just so upset because I worked so freaking hard, so hard to go triple. There was like, I had to build a whole diamond leg. Like, I just went so crazy to go triple, and I had this huge accomplishment, and now I'm freaking gonna lose it. And my husband was like, no one needs to know. Like, no one's gonna know. And I'm like, Tiffany's gonna know, and she's above me. Like, everyone above me is gonna know. And it wasn't even just that. It was just like me knowing, and that like hurts, and the checks and everything. And so I lost my rank. And then a couple months later in the fall, I started getting close to losing double. And that's when I was like, oh crap, like this is more than just triple. Like, I'm actually like not doing good in the business. And it was a hard year. It was a freaking hard end of the year. And to put on top of that, I was getting bigger and bigger, and I was starting to go through issues in my pregnancy. Like, I felt like I was fading into a depression, and it was freaking me out because I'm like a worrywart, and I've done a lot of research on postpartum because that's something that I feel like you can't avoid, and it's scary. I've heard very scary stories of moms that have gone through postpartum. And so I'm starting to do all this research, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I'm already dealing with depression through my pregnancy, like I can only imagine what's going to happen when I actually have him? And so I started getting really scared, and there's nothing you can really do when you have depression. And I'm like, I'm not trying to go see help and get medication. Like, I'm just going to deal with this on my own. And I just kind of dealt with it by closing out like the rest of the world. And I was like, F, it works. Like, I'm already sucking. I'm not going to try to freaking bend over backwards to save my business at the point that I'm at, because I can't even freaking save right now my marriage and my freaking life. Like, I'm just so like over everything. And I just, I lost it. I lost double. I think I ended up losing double in November. So I got that first check in December, and it was like $2,500. And I was literally, I sat there and I opened up the computer and I just bawled. And my husband came in, and I'm like, how the heck can I go from $16,000 in the summer to $2,500 now? And I was just mortified, and I was over it. And I had my son at the end of November. And after like 2 weeks of just adjusting, you know, bringing him home and blah, 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 I was fine. I was good as new. I felt like I was old Rachel, which was really weird. And so then I'm like super ticked at myself, because I'm like, I just gave up my whole business thinking that I was like gone for it, and I'm fine, and I'm ready to get back at it. So that month of December, I couldn't be too depressed about my check for long, because I knew like I had to really get to work. And so I did a lot of freaking soul searching, and I did a lot of praying and talking to God, and just trying to figure it out, because I'm like, at one point, you know, and I think some people on here might be able to relate, when you like start to lose it, and you lose it and you lose it and it's crumbling, you start to question if the business is even for you anymore, and if you're even supposed to be a part of it. Because I'm just like, am I a one-hit wonder? Like, how could I've been down for so long that it's hard to see what it's like to be up again. And so I just was questioning everything. Like, I don't know really how to be a leader, because I haven't been. I don't really have that good of a team anymore. And so I did a lot of soul searching, and I did a lot of praying, and I just was like, I throughout my depression and stuff, in my pregnancy, when I would pray over my business, I would be like, just give me a runner, but I wasn't doing anything. Like, I wasn't doing the work that deserves a runner to be placed into my path. I wasn't doing anything. I was just like, just give me someone to like help my business out, someone. But in December, I finally dropped everything, and I'm just like, I know it starts with me, and I just need to get my head out of my butt. And so I started watching YouTube videos again, because I'm like, I really truly felt like I didn't know how to be a leader, and I didn't know how to take myself seriously. So I'm like, I know my team's not taking me seriously. So I truly just started watching videos. Sarah Rankin's your upline, right? I love her freaking videos. I love her videos. Like, she has two really good ones. The one where she's like has her coffee cup, and she's like talking about how she's never never had a bad check in December or whatever. I love those. I share them with my team all the time. So I started watching that to get my head right. And then I started watching leadership stuff, and I just started taking notes. I started taking notes on all this paper, and I'm like, this is stuff that I already know, but I'm going to reteach my team, because I'm like refueling my mind. And then I ended up making a video, and I just got real on it. And I had never told anybody about my loss of rank until the end of last year. And so I was open with them, and I just told them everything. I told them how I was struggling in my pregnancy. I apologized over and over again. And I just started crying, because it did hurt me that I felt like a lot of them stopped because of me, even though I feel like you should find vision for yourself, you know, and be able to run without an upline. But I understand that some people just aren't strong enough to have that for themselves yet. So I just openly apologized. I said, I know I let you down. I know this. And I'm really yellow, and I used that. But then I like switched, and I was like, I said this on the call. I just went ham, and I'm like, I'm freaking ready to go. Like, no more this, no more that. Let's do this together. Come 2017, this. And I sent the video. I went on my tree viewer, and I took, like, Lachelle's in my downline. I took her side out, and then I have Savannah Fletcher. She's my best friend. She's in my downline. My strong legs, I just took out. And then I went to my tree viewer, and I just started writing down every single email, and I sent it to about like 150 people. And I sent it to them, and I typed up like this little thing saying, watch this and message me back after what you feel. And if you're ready, and if you're not, that's fine. I get it. And I will not push you, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people stayed back. A lot of people didn't message me back, but also a lot of people, they were ready, and they opened up about their struggles too. And we jumped into January, like killing it. And from January to March, I mean, people are slowing down now, but from January to March, like those people that promised me they were in, were people that didn't pull in a single number all fall, like people that were truly like, I thought like dead weight. And they went ham from January to March, and they're still doing good. But like I'm saying, like they went actual like balls to the wall, so good the first 3 months. And so I think that that's just a good thing to maybe start at, because I feel like when you lose your rank or something in life happens to where you're knocked down for however long, it's hard to get back up, and it's hard to know like what's step one, where do I go? And so that's something that worked for me, was just making that video and being honest and just swallowing my pride and telling them I lost my rank, but I'm gonna get back, just because I want them to see I truly am struggling, and my business is too. Like I'm not just lucky and I'm still a triple diamond. I didn't work, and I stopped, and life hit me, and I'm down, and my check stuck. And I think I even told them my check, because they knew when I was making that I made $16,000 as a triple. So that just helped me, and that's what I did. And then I put I made a VIP chat, and I put six people that that were really good, and that's kind of sad, I guess, that I only had 6 people. But that just goes to show I had 6 people in January that were like my ruby legs. I had no one above that. And I put them in my VIP chat, and I just started doing Zooms with them, and I started just doing all this stuff with them. And then they were trickling it down to their team. And then I was doing more for my newbies, and I don't know, we just did it together. And I went Prez 4 months later because of them. So it does start with you though. So I think like if you just are open and you do that video, maybe if that's something you want to do, and then you just start pulling in the numbers, that's when they start believing you and start following your lead again.
So well, first off, I love how you were just like, okay, I need to stop. It starts with me. And you were like, first and foremost, I need to fill my bucket with all the YouTube videos, because we all know you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
So I love that you were like, okay, I got to fill my cup. I got to fill my bucket and start there. And then now you're, top 140. Mm-hmm. So you found out when we were at boot camp, huh?
Yeah, which was kind of crappy how they did it, because they told you like, they put them on the Wired app, like right when we sat down Friday, and I was so pumped. Like I was like, cool, Saturday's gonna be awesome for my team, but like Friday was for me in my mind, and I was so excited. And then they told everybody their numbers Friday right when we got there, and then I don't even know anything that they said Friday, because everybody was freaking out and stuff. So that part kind of sucked. But yeah, we found out, and so it's just as crazy, because I think I was telling you this at boot camp, is like we preach to our teams as leaders, like you can start over whenever you want. Like the crazier stuff has happened. Like I always tell my team, like crazier stuff's happened. Like somebody went diamond in 9 days on this and this. But like I think that they just assume, they have to tell us that they're our leader and like whatever. But like knowing where I was at in January when my check was $3,000 and I was 46 spots from Prez, and then to where I'm at now, like, and I wasn't giving anybody, and I didn't do this crazy boost or placing orders to go to Prez. I only did about $1,000 to go Prez, which maybe seems like a lot, but that's not for what I did to triple. I did crazy stuff. So I just like, it actually worked out how it was supposed to work out. And I always tell people now, I'm just using me losing rank as part of my story, even though it still sucks, because that just sucks to have to say I dropped down to diamond. But I just now more than ever believe like crazy stuff can happen if you just want it bad enough and you really put it in the work. And so when I went Prez in April, and so in April was the first time, and it's almost 3 years for me, the first time in my whole entire business that I went to sleep April 30th, and I was like, I utilized I actually went presidential on the 27th, and so I kind of partied a lot the last 3 days. So those were useless because Tiffany was in town and everybody. But like besides that, I really did utilize every single day, to where when it was like April 4th, I told Zach, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through, because I'm like freaking over being on my phone already. And I really kind of like, I was like over it, because I literally worked day in and day out to get it. And I was talking to people all day, and I was doing all this stuff. And every single day, can you shut the door, please? Every single day I woke up, no, please. And mommy's on a Zoom. Every single time I woke up and I compared it to the last day, like I just did everything I needed to do, to where every single day I'm like, this month is so damn long. Like, is it over yet? Because I pushed so much into each day. And other months, like, I don't know, I feel like every other month when you go to sleep, there's like, you think about your month and you're like, man, I really could have probably done a couple more parties, or I could have probably done a couple of this. But April, I truly did everything. I don't know what else I could have done. So that showed too, like, if you really, really do work hard, you can do it. But man, you got to freaking put in so much work. And I was so over being on my phone.
That is, I mean, the most amazing thing to me is that you went from being paid as diamond, you paid as presidential in 4 months.
Yeah.
So, and you were just so intentional. And then when you went to bed at the end of April, you were like, oh my gosh, it was all worth it, you know?
It's a good feeling when you feel like your month was really useful, because we get so sidetracked, and then you're like, because you work so hard from the 25th until the last month, the day of the month. And like, people pull out stuff that you're like, where did you get these things? Like, why haven't you done it the whole month? Because it's like that, you know, I don't know. It's that push and that, what's the word? People, what is it with the P? People procrastinate. And then they freaking go ham. And I'm just like, how come you do this? And I do the same thing. And Zach will be like, how can you sign 10 loyals in 3 days, but you can't sign a freaking loyal up until the 25th? And I'm like, I don't know. It just does something for our brains when you like have to, like, it's crunch time. So I don't know. I feel like we always think that, but I took every day as if it was the last day of the month, just because on April 1st, Zach was like, okay, I'm not going to do what we did for triple, like, because for a triple, I knew I was far. And I probably shouldn't have gone triple when I went and kind of forced that promotion. But I didn't run numbers until the 20th, I think, because I knew I was so far. And so April 1st, Zach's like, you need to sit down and you need to run all of your numbers to see how far away you really are. Because if this isn't possible, we're not going to do crazy things and blah, 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 blah. So I sat down and I ran all my numbers and I was like 10,000 away. And I'm like, holy shit. And I told Zach, and he was kind of just like wide-eyed, like, yeah, you can do it. And I was like, I'm gonna freaking do it. Like, I can do it. That's like however much volume a day. And I just went ham. And then I don't know.
It just all happens when you have a team that comes together like that, because I was once in that exact same position where you're a couple days out, literally days. And I remember being a couple days out from presidential, and we were over 11,000 away. And I'm talking to my triple, and I'm talking to some of the girls, and they're like, well, are we going to do it? And I'm like, no, we've already made the decision. We've already decided. We've already set this up. We've already been working so hard. Like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but we're going for it.
It's going to happen.
Like, one of those things. Well, I think the biggest question now, okay, so everybody's different. Most of the girls, I would say, are married with kids. I am not. But I think what everybody really wants to know is when you're just going hard every single day, you utilize every single day in that 30 days, in that 90 days. As a mom with 2 kids at home and a husband, I think what everybody wants to know is, what does your average day look like? And one of the questions was, what does a typical day look like when pushing for promotion with young kids? You know, how do you balance and take care of the kids while still working and not feeling like you're neglecting them? And just kind of like, what does that day look like for you?
I feel like there's no perfect way when you're going for a promotion to not, I don't know anybody who's never felt like they neglected their kids, honestly, because, and I mean, I'm sure things would be different. So my husband actually went back to work in January, and then he quit in March. And so I had him off for April. And so I don't know what the heck I would have done if he wasn't home. But having him home, you know, at first I had to have a talk with him, because every single time I promoted, we've like gotten into the most ugly fights because I neglect everybody, because work has to be my priority, because I'm a psycho and I'm not good at balancing. And so we've always gotten in such ugly fights. And so I told him, I'm like, this is a freaking huge promotion. And I was kind of a bitch. I'm like, I'll be damned if you're holding me back this time. So I just told him, like, you know, you got to understand that it's going to be a cycle, 30 days. And I just kind of helped him see, like, it's going to be like this, and it's going to be like this, and we already know it's going to be like this, and I might be a little like this, but blah, 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 blah. And he was on board. There was a couple of days where he was a little bit annoyed, but because I'm sure, I mean, we have a colicky baby who cries all the time, so I'm sure that he got pretty freaking annoyed because he had him most of the time. But I did feel like I neglected my children. But, you know, something that I learned is, like, I mean, my 3-year-old, he might maybe remember, I don't know, but at the end of the day, this is just one cycle month for setting us up for a bigger future. And so I did feel like crap because my 3-year-old, I feel like likes me a little bit more than he likes his dad, but he just would be like, Mom, come, don't shut the door in the office. Like, don't go in there. And I just had to kind of just like turn my cheek and just like block him out if I really had to get stuff done. Because what I did, like when you're going for promotion, I feel like what made this promotion easier and different than my other ones, because there's been something that's gone wrong or gone bad, diamond, double, and triple. It was a bad promotion for me. But this one was such a breeze. And like, even like Tiffany and my friends, they were like, why are you so calm and stuff? And I'm like, because I can feel it's meant to be. And this is just different. It's just different because I'm doing it the right way. And so every single day I had to talk to everybody on my team for the most part. Like, out of all my promoting legs, I only had one diamond that I truly trusted, that ran her numbers right and took care of her team and has a red personality, and I trusted. Everybody else, one of my diamonds, bless her heart, is 19 and doesn't quite know how to, like, you know, be like aggressive. She's been in it for 3 months, and I helped her go diamond. So I had to take control of her team and talk to every single person on her chart. And then my husband's double was a little weak. And so I had to talk to people all day freaking long. And I just had to take them under my wing and seal the deal for them and talk to people. Like, I was sealing the deal for so many people that were sending me screenshots. And so to do it with kids, I just had to, like, I mean, I don't know how to tell people, I don't know how to give advice to people that don't have their husbands home, because a lot of people don't. But I would just say, I don't know, I went to bed really late and I woke up really early, like everybody freaking says. And I just really took advantage. Like, I didn't really do anything fun last month. There was a couple days I had a couple birthday parties, but I just really put my all into It Works. And then I made sure that my time was being intentional. Like, I wasn't talking, my best friend Savannah, she's my double. We like are always talking about just stupid crap in life. And I just told her too, like, listen, you're not on my you're not on my promotion chart, and I can't talk to you like I would. I cut out all my friends and I just went ham, and my team was my priority. I made a page, April presidential team, and I put everybody that I needed on my chart into that page. And that was my goal. That was my baby. Like, that was my friend. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd talk to them. I'd do this and I'd do that. And that was just my priority. And so when it comes to tying the kids into it, I don't know. And I know Pam said at one of our triple dinners, like in Indiana, she said, like, listen, your kids, and she said, all your kids really need is for you to give them 30 minutes of your undivided attention, and then they're already bored of you. And that's true with my 3-year-olds. I give him 30 minutes of coloring time where it's just me and him, and then by the end of that 30 minutes, he's up running by himself anyway. So that's something I would have to do too, but it was hard for me because I wanted to put my all into my office, into my team, but I knew I had to be a mom. So I don't know. I didn't get a lot of snuggles with my 6-month-old. Zach did a lot of that, and I don't know, It Works was my priority, so I just had to put them off. And that sounds so shitty, but I luckily had my husband home, so it's not like, otherwise I don't know
the thing what you said is that, I love the advice what you said. If you give your child 30 minutes of your undivided attention, then they get bored with you. So, you know, that's something that I think everybody can make sure you can fit in 30 minutes for a kid. You know what I mean? And there are a lot of stay-at-home moms on the team, so I know that they're going to have to find that balance. But I love what you said, that, you know, it sounds shitty and you're going to have to feel like you're neglecting them for a month, but you're taking that 30 days, you're going ham. You're just taking 30 days and saying, listen, I'm setting us up for our future. So I would be interested to know, so you had was it a Facebook group okay, so it was your promotion group. Did you do like daily Zooms, weekly Zooms, contests? How did you say just every single person send me a screenshot, I'll get on 3-way calls? Tell me a little bit about how you focused with that team.
So what I started with, I said I did that video in December, and I ended up doing another video like that, but live. And that was March 30th. I came into my office and I wrote down everybody, like I wrote out my press chart. I hadn't even had it filled. I had 11 spots left that I needed, but I knew I could fill them with my team. And I knew in my head, like, it's like when you know you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And so I wrote down everybody I needed, and then I made like a professional, like the most pretty professional swag or word swag. And I just made it like, you are invited to a VIP private Zoom with me on this date. Do not share it with anybody. Like, this is private and you are cordially invited, kind of thing. Because that's what it was. Like, I didn't invite my best friend Savannah's team or Lachelle's team. Like, it was truly the people that I only needed. And so I sent that to them. And then everybody I needed, and I said, you guys really aren't going to want to miss this. And then I knew in my heart, like, I had to make it really dang good. And so I did more of like searching for hardcore YouTube videos, and I wrote a lot of notes, and then I made like an itinerary kind of thing. And I usually just like go off my Zooms. I just like fly through them, you know, you don't need notes at a certain rank, I feel like. But I had these notes down because I really wanted to make it good. And I had such a good feeling about it because I had that planned. And I got on Zoom with them there. I think I invited like 78 people, I think. And then I only like 40 got on, which was still really good, but a lot more people said they were going to get on. But whatever the case, I opened up and I told my story again. I told what happened last year. And then I just told them, you know, like, we are a presidential diamond team, and we're nothing less of that, nothing short of that. And I just kept on saying, we're a presidential diamond team. And I just kept saying, you know, I like really need you guys, and we need each other. You probably need someone that's on this chart, whether I need or on this Zoom, whether you're a 400 box or you're a Ruby Lake, we all need each other, and I can't do this without you. So I'm going to be at your beck and call next month. I'm going to not talk to anybody else. Like, I'm not going to be helping this person and this person. They got their own business, but like, everybody that's on here, I'm yours. And so I hope that you guys utilize me and blah, blah, blah. And I just told them I'm going to be setting up Zooms. And I just made that, I started off with making that big video. And then at the end, I just was like, listen, I just need you guys again to take me seriously. We're a presidential diamond team, and I've just been praying for this. And I feel like our time really is now. And like, the big things are coming for us. And I just ended it praying over them, and I just told them, like, I pray for your guys' business every day. And they all started crying, and it was like, I didn't even know it was going to be how it was, but it started getting really emotional because I think that they actually felt from me like, we really are the ones Rachel needs, and she's actually going to give us her all. And I don't know, and they all were making statuses saying like how excited they were. And then I messaged 5 leaders to set up Zooms. I think I only did 5. I did Tiffany, Lachelle, Megan McLeod, Kelsey Thornton. Oh no, I only did 4. And I set those up for random days of the week based on who they were. Like, Lachelle did it for my like big promoting leg, so I did hers midway through. I started off with Tiffany, and what I did to these people, like, I messaged them and I just said, you know, I'm going for a big promotion. Is there any way I could just borrow you for my team for an hour? It's a selected team. It's the people that I need to promote. And everybody, I felt like, was more willing to do that rather than just do a team Zoom, because they knew they were truly helping me. And then I set up that. And then I set up a couple Power Hour Zooms. And then I just talked to people all the time, and I really utilized my page. I didn't do a lot of Zooms, really, besides those 4 and a couple Power Hours, but I was on my page all the time. Everything that worked for me, I was doing for them. I was putting it on the page, and I was doing this, and then I was doing little contests for them on the page. I just really went ham on my page. And so when it came to people sending me screenshots, I just had so many messages going to like Little Legs or random people on my chart. And I just said, like, listen, I need you to start sending me screenshots because you're not pulling in numbers, and I need to see why, because you're obviously not saying something that you're supposed to. And so many freaking people were like, well, I'm saying this. And I'm like, show me the screenshots. And they still weren't. And I'm like, show me the screenshots. I had to tell people like 3 or 4 times, and then they finally were showing me. And I'm like, no, like, you don't say those things. Like, why are you saying that? Why are you leaving them with this? And so I figured out, like, I started finding out why people were, but then I started getting annoyed because I'm like, why isn't your freaking Ruby upline like doing this for you? But I had to, like, I get really pissy when I know my team's not doing that, but I just had to like not get mad at anybody and just know it's all on my shoulders because I'm going for this major promotion. So I was doing that with so many people. So that's why my phone was blowing up so much, and I was just sealing the deal for them. And then I was doing mini like booms for them, like for random people I needed. If there was 300-400 boxes randomly, I would put them on chat and say, if you guys can sign 2 loyals by Sunday at midnight, I'll send you a shirt. And just doing little things based on who I needed rather than a whole team thing. Because sometimes, you know, when you do those big team things, your Emerald keeps winning and you don't need them to win anymore, you know? So I was doing that. And then something else, when, I don't know if anybody's going for a big promotion in here, but something that really helped me, that Tiffany told me she did for Ambassador, was I was messaging the person that wasn't the 400 or Ruby that needed a couple more volume, whatever. And I was saying, I don't know if there's any product you've wanted, but if you place an order by Sunday at midnight, I will match what you spent before tax and shipping. And so there was no one that spent less than $50. So if someone was like, I can put in $50 and get a box of WOW, I would say, okay, I'm going to give you another $50 and you're going to buy thermal fit in an oil or whatever. I was doing the math, but the thing that sucks about it is, then I would square cash them, and I would square cash them an extra $1. They would withdraw it immediately, place their order. The thing that sucks is that you're not getting product. They're getting extra product, but you're paying for more volume in return. So I did that, and it sucks because I didn't get a lot of product last month, but they were getting it and they've been able to make money and they've been able to be a part of the product, and I was getting to where I needed to go. And I didn't have to put in more than $1,000 to go Presidential Diamond. So that was really useful for me because there was like one girl that was like, yeah, I can spend $150. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to match you. So like, cool. Because even like the Ruby Lakes, if maybe they had one person, like they're going to move that volume. And so I don't know, it was super, super helpful for me going that promotion because I was doing that like on the 20th of the month. Because I went.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
How did you balance? So, like I know from my team, for example, we have this one leg that there's just like a bunch of diamonds stacked. And so we have this kind of like, I won't call it runaway leg, but a stacked leg. So for a lot of us, we're focusing, on these smaller legs that we're trying to bring up and, grow and raise leaders and all that stuff. So how did you focus on, what was it, your promotion group? You focused on them solely. And I know what you did because I did the same exact thing for Prez. I did a group, I did a little contest, I did send me everything. I did the same thing. How did you balance that and pulling in your own numbers, your own loyal customers and distributors? And how, I guess I'm going to lead that question into one of my questions of, how are you finding the right people that wanted to do this business, the people that, that we're looking for? So how did you balance and how did you look for those right people?
I mean, my ratio still kind of sucks because I've signed 6 distributors this month already, and 2 of them are really bringing in their own numbers. And the rest, I think may have I don't know, they're just not doing anything. So it's still my ratio sucks to where I'm not finding the right people, but I am still finding a couple runners a month. And I think at the end of the day, what I've started doing, and I don't know if it's because I've been in it longer, maybe now, or I've hit the promotion or what it is, but I'm tired. I've stopped begging people, not even begging, but I've stopped super pushing and pushing and pushing when I know that they don't really want it. And I've stopped being, maybe, I guess you would call it, desperate. And I've just kind of used, I'm really yellow, but I have a red mindset in who I'm talking to, in the sense of dude, you either freaking have the money or you don't. I don't have time. And I made that video, that live video, and I said, let's talk about not having money. And I just said on there, I went live, and I'm and a lot of my potential saw it, and I just was you guys actually should make this video too, honestly, because it got me a lot of people. Because I made this video and I said, let's talk about not having money. And I wasn't going psycho. I just had my my phone set up right here, and I just was I think it's really funny how many people say they don't have money, and they talked to me 2 years ago and they still don't have the money. And I just called it as it was, and I just said, I know that you have people don't, I don't know if people think I'm silly or what it is. I know how much a freaking tattoo costs. I know, and I just called it as it was. And I'm I'm so sick and tired of pouring my heart and soul into people, and then them coming back with the excuse of they don't have money, and you're not willing to do anything to get that money. And then I just, I talk about my life and being pregnant at 20, and I'm I totally understand if you're someone that was me, feeling that's just how life is supposed to be. You're supposed to struggle. You don't have to, but I'm just not going to freaking keep on trying to get you on my team if you're not going to do what it takes to even get started. And I just was talking about not having money and how I was so sick of it. And I actually got 3 people last weekend, 3 distributors to sign up in one day, because they messaged me and they were hey, I just need a little bit more information about It Works. And then they were like, I also have the money. I promise I'll show you. Like, because I was like, I'm not going to talk to you anymore if you're going to keep on telling me you don't have the money, because you're wasting my time. You're just freaking wasting our time. And so I was talking last night to my team, like we had like a work Monday thing, and they were saying the same thing. Like, how do you even find distributors? And I just said, when you're talking to people, you kind of just have to like put it out there, and just like, when you're talking to them, say, okay, so here's all the information. There comes a point in your conversation where like, I gave you all the information. You either want it or you don't, but I'm confident with what I have my hands on, and I'm confident with there being a lot of people that want what I have. I'm not going to keep pouring my heart into you if you're really not going to join me. And I've just been saying stuff like that, and it might come off as a B, but I mean, I just don't have time for it, and you guys don't either. And so when it comes to looking for people, I don't know. I mean, I expand my network every single day still, but when it comes to like someone that's like super beautiful, or someone that I feel like could be like a me in the business, I just message them, and I literally start off with just saying, I mean, I stalk them for a long time first, because I get scared, because I feel like those really pretty people are like the ones that have probably been bombarded. And so I literally will just message them, and I'll be like, I'm sure you've probably been asked a million times, but I need to know why you're not on my team. Or I say like, do you understand that you could be making so much money doing what I do? And I just start off by saying that. And a lot of times lately they've been like, yeah, I've been asked a million times, but I've never really thought into it. Or they've been like, what are you talking about, girlfriend? Like, what do you think I'd be good at? And then I just keep talking, and I just keep it really simple. And I think what's helped me sign more quality distributors lately is not giving this huge spiel. Like, I used to copy and paste the information on It Works, and I just literally like, oh, what do you do? I'm just going to keep it simple, and I just literally share the business and the products with people, and I get paid to do it. And it's freaking super simple. It's that simple. Like, it's not always easy, and then we just keep going into it, but I'm not answering 60 million questions that haven't even been asked yet. So I've just been doing that. And I mean, I am a really sensitive person. My feelings get hurt, and I could cry like at the drop of a second. But when it comes to talking to people, I've realized I can use that yellow personality to my advantage a little bit, but for the most part, I have to be red, because I'm so sick and tired. I put my heart and soul into my potentials, and we don't have time to keep putting our heart and soul into people, and then they sign up and get the fast start, and then they don't do anything, and it's just an added headache, and it takes away from time you could be putting into people that will do really good. So I've just been being blunt and real and messaging people, and if it's someone that I really want, I'm not going to like waste time building a relationship for 2 years. I'm just going to jump right in. I mean, I'm still building those relationships, but sometimes we just don't have time for that. Sometimes it's the right person that only needed to hear that they would be good at it, and they jump in and they are good at it. So I think just kind of getting over that fear of messaging people, and just knowing you don't have to like cold message this huge script. Sometimes you just have to call it as it is, and tell people that they would be good at what you're doing. And I mean, don't make that mistake. I've gotten a lot of messages lately of people saying, I've been following you for so long, and you would do so good at what I'm doing. And I'm like, you're not following me, because you would see that I'm already doing what you're doing. Like, don't make the mistake of like that. But I don't know, it's been working out for me lately. It's just keeping it short and sweet with a couple sentences, and getting the people that I want on my team.
Is Facebook your jam, or is Instagram, or both?
Facebook. I did do really good with Instagram like a year ago, and I have a video on me and Aaron Tweed did a video, and people still message me about it, and I hate it. It's still on YouTube, because I was cold messaging on Instagram all the time, and I had this like long script, and I hate it so much. But people still use it and stuff, and I was doing great at Instagram. But Instagram, it's so hard to be good at both at the same time for me. And so honestly, I haven't even posted on Instagram in probably 2 months. Facebook is where it's at for me right now, so I just continue to do what's right until it's not right, and then I'll jump back and forth, because I do go back and forth. But right now, I mean, I don't know, I just haven't maxed Facebook out yet in a while, so I just keep using Facebook. Because Instagram, I just feel like it takes so much time, and I just don't have like the desire to do it anymore. I wish I could, because I feel like people sign quality people from it all the time. But
I'm with you. Like, I post on Instagram. Like, I haven't posted in a few days. Like, I try, but Facebook is what we know, and some people are opposite. And I know like Alyssa, Instagram is like her jam, but I feel like, stick with what you know, try to learn what you don't. And if we max out Facebook one day, then we'll already have a head start on Instagram. So going back to, I took a lot of notes about like what you said about how to find the right people, and trust me when I say that we are with you. Like, we don't have like, one of my leaders and I were talking about, we don't want to sit there and have, hi, how are you? How are your kids? No, like we want to cut the crap and get straight to the, get straight to the point, get straight to the question. You want to join me or you don't? And I'm with you. I see people out going to dinner, getting their nails done, going to the water park. I see you, damn it. You don't have $99? Like, come on. But kind of going back to, focusing on that promotion team and then also bringing in your own numbers. Did you have to block out time where you said, okay, I'm not checking my boxer or anything and just focusing on my potentials? Did you have a little power with yourself? How'd you do that?
I did put myself first. And so when I was going ham on loyal, so I don't know if anybody, I can't remember who interviewed me and I talked about it, but I signed 39 loyal customers last month, and I've never done that before in my whole life. But what I was doing is I was having people post for me. And so that was really, really time consuming, because that's like really, it's a step-by-step process. So like, for example, I did try making a status like who wants free product. That didn't really work out for me, but what I was doing is I was messaging. I scrolled all the way down to my Facebook messengers, my Facebook messages, all the way down. And then I just would message those old potentials, that have ignored me for whatever reason. And I just was saying, hey girl, like I know that you're not like ready to join me right now, or you've ignored me for 6 months. Like I was just calling it as it was. And I said, but maybe you'd be interested in trying product for free. I can give you a post to put on your wall and I'll take care of everything else. Depending on who you sign up from it, I can give you a product. And out of that, like I've probably talked to 250 strangers last month. I kid you not, from all these different statuses. I only had to send one cleanse because one person got four loyals on her status. And so like it was freaking worth it to me because I only had to send out one cleanse. The rest, I did send out like 2 boxes of wraps because a lot of people got a couple people. But when they said yes, I had this message. I can send it to you. I had this post with like six things like, hey, my friend Rachel's looking for 6 cleanse models, something. And then I had my favorite cleanse post or picture before and after. And then they would post that. And then when people commented on it saying me, I would add them. And then I would Facebook message them saying, hey, and then it was going so fast that I made it a text replacement in my phone. And I just had a little spiel on the cleanse. People are losing anywhere from this to this. It's like so amazing. It's gentle, la, la, la. And I would say, hey, and I'd send it to them. And then I got like 78 like new Facebook friends last month from that. So like I was getting new potentials from it, and then I was signing people. And so all these people were commenting on statuses, and I was commenting them saying, check your inbox. And then I was messaging them. The first time I did it, I signed 7 loyals in a day. The next day I signed 4. The next day after that I signed 4. Like I went ham. And it's so crazy because we never think to ask people to help us out. I've never done that. I've never posted on anybody's wall. I've never done that. And so I never thought to ask somebody to post it for me. And so people were doing that. And then when I kept it as simple as, you'll just make this post, I already have it made for you, I'll take care of the rest, they were literally like, who can really say no when they just have to copy and paste? They don't have to seal the deal for you. And so a lot of people that had felt bad for ignoring me for whatever the reason, they were like, yeah, totally, I'll help you, girl. Or I was going to all my potential loyals that can't afford the product saying, hey, did you want to try it? Hey girl, I was just thinking about you. Did you want to try the hair, skin, and nails for free? And then they're like, wait, what is this? Is this real? And I was sending that to everybody. And like I said, only one person got 4 people from their status. Other than that, everybody was getting anywhere from 1 to 3. And then when I sealed the deal for them and I signed them up, I was like, okay, so do you want to make the status now and try to get free product? And it was like this ongoing thing. And the only thing that sucks about that is you have to do it when like you got a couple hours like a free time, because I was having so many people do it in the morning, and then Zach and I were going to go grocery shopping and whatever. And then at night when I was going to that status, they had like 30 comments, and a lot of them like had already gotten over it and they didn't care and they ignored me. And they're like, oh no, thank you. I'm okay. And it was weird because it's like, I guess you just have to jump on it right when they jump on it. So it does get really overwhelming, but I was just doing that. And I was literally commenting, messaging them, and then when I would say, yeah, I can sign you up now, blah, 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 blah. And everybody was just literally throwing their information at me. And it was crazy because I don't even know who the people are. And they were just trusting me because I was so professional with it that I think they didn't even question if I was like a real business or not. They just gave me their information and I signed them up. And that's how I signed 39 loyals last month. So I was doing that. So I was making sure that I was answering like and talking to those people first. And then I would just talk to my team in between when I had some downtime. But I mean, it was just coming really easy because I was just like, and it's funny because someone messaged me a few days ago and they're like, so I've been stalking your Facebook and I'm so confused because everybody keeps talking about how you signed 39 loyals last month, but I don't see like any loyal customer posts. What did you do? And I'm like, I know, because I did it all behind the scenes. Like I wasn't trying to, but it just blew up for me. And I did not realize like 60 plus people would be okay with posting for me. And it just blew up. So that's something I definitely recommend trying. It worked so well to where like I haven't had anyone post for me this month and I haven't signed a single loyal yet. And I haven't been posting like I should, but it was just crazy. So I did that, and that was making me sign loyals really fast to where I was just able to focus on that and my team at the same time. And like I said, I was talking to people all the freaking time, but when I like that was something that was really big in bringing in numbers that worked for me. So like I went to my page, my little group page, and I just said, here's what you're going to do. And then I sent the message and I said, check the comments. They're in order. This is exactly how you're going to talk to them. And I said on the thread, I put a copy of what you would message the person asking if they did post for you. And then in the first comment, I put the status, and then I put the picture, and then I put script 1 for when you message them. And then I put script 2 when you're selling the deal. And everybody was just eating it up. And I have like 15 of my people on my presidential team to where like people outside of my strong leg that signed like 15 plus loyals from it. So it really did help for all of us. But those were the little things I was doing on my page. Like I tried to tell myself, like every time I sign a loyal or a distributor, how did I sign that person? Okay, now I need to tell my team so that maybe they can do the same thing, you know, because that's something I never think of doing. I just tell them like, I signed a distributor, guys, and you don't think to do that. And so I just was really open with it. And I went live. I did go live about 5 times on my page, just like a Q&A or something that I've been working for me. And I just stayed really connected with that team page. And just, I mean, I did put them second if I was talking to someone that came first, but I don't know, balancing it was pretty easy for the most part.
I love that. I've been hearing so much about this, and I've never done that before.
Started it, yeah.
Yeah, and I actually had one of my leaders do it, and like I realize what you're saying about how it does take time. You do have to jump on it right away. It is time consuming, but imagine how much potential and how much this opens everything up for you. Yeah. So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe you've already answered this question, so maybe you can just like recap. One of my leaders wants to know what works for you. Everyone has that one thing that works best for them. What's yours? Like a type of status, message, wording, belly to belly. What's your like thing?
I'm gonna be honest, and this is something that I kind of battle because I feel like I'm like starting to be in that public eye, and I feel like I'm top 150 and I should be doing more, but I don't get the rap on people like I should. I still have this weird like social anxiety about blitzing, and I don't know why. And I don't talk to people when I'm out and about like I should. And it's not like I'm trying to keep the business a secret, but it's something that I know once I get over, it'll blow up, but I'm just still not over that part yet. So like social media really is 110% all I do. And that's great, but like I would like to talk to more strangers because that's just as big as freaking social media. The world is crazy big, but I haven't gotten over to that. So definitely got to presidential by using social media. So that can be used. But I feel like I'm pretty good at signing distributors for the most part. And I feel like I've been like that since the beginning. So it's not like I just have like money to back me up or my success story, because I feel like it's deeper than that. I realize what works for me the most is being very public and vulnerable about like everything in my life. Like, so I've done that from the beginning into where I have so many people that I feel like are like cheering me on that don't want anything to do with business, but they still follow me because they think I'm inspiring for whatever reason. And so that just makes it easy when I'm posting for distributors. Like when I'm posting for distributors anymore, I don't ever use like those big posts with all these emojis in it anymore, or, you know, those ones that we copy and paste from like the other leaders or whatever it is. I don't use those anymore because I feel like they started to get overlooked from me and people were wanting me to just be myself. And so when I just keep it simple and not like overdo it and just be myself and stop copying I do copy other leaders' loyal customer things because it's really hard for me to come up with like clever loyal customer things. But when I just started being myself when it came to trying to get distributors and not using anybody else's posts, I don't know, that's what it really was. And just, I think what really gets me People is just remembering the past, the present, and the future kind of thing. So talking about where I was before it works, talking about where I'm at now, and talking about where I want to be still. And I was talking about this last night with my team, because I was saying, like, yeah, it's great that I got to Prez and I can say I marked all these things off my dream board and blah, 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 blah. But I think what really gets people still wanting to join me is that, like, I'm still talking about, like, what there still is left to get. Like, it's not like this is it. You can still, like, I still got a long way to go, you know? So people, I think, saying that there's, like, no limit. And then something that I need to work on more is talking about, like, the past, where I was. Because when I joined, something that got me all the time was talking about my groceries and talking about the gas tank, because it's little things like that. Even though I was grocery shopping and maybe It Works wasn't paying for it all, like, I was tweaking it a little bit because I didn't have much else to talk about. And so I talk about, I still try to talk about when I go grocery shopping. I was on Link to where I had to freaking find the shortest grocery line because it was embarrassing pulling out my blue card, like stuff like that. Remembering to talk about, even though you might not be struggling in that way anymore, there are still so many people on social media that could be, and that's what they need to see. So that's really helps me, is the past, present, the future, and just being really open and vulnerable in posting, even when it comes for loyal customers. I have to lose like 100 freaking pounds to be where I want to be. And I was really open with, like, posting my weight on Facebook and then posting all this stuff. And people were just appreciating that and wanting in, because it can relate to so many people that you don't even know. And so at the end of the day, I think it's important to realize, I think once you know in your head, like, absolutely every single person on your social media needs what we have, whether it's the product or the opportunity. Once you know that in your heart, it makes it so much easier just to post all the time and to flaunt all these things, because you have so many lives to change. But that's pretty much it. Social media is my jam.
Okay. I love it. I wrote down lots of stuff. I think sometimes we get so caught up in, top leaders, their posts are pretty and amazing, but honestly, what I do, I had to unfollow. Like, I used to have Tiffany as, like, see first, but I have to remember, I'm not engaged. I don't have 2 kids. I was in the service industry like her, but I was also playing the comparison game, and we have to be really careful about that. So what I had to do was unfollow a lot of people, and now I just basically go to their pages as, like, a little bit of inspiration.
Yeah.
And then I just go back and make it my own, because if I straight copy and paste, then I'm not going to be sounding like myself. So
I'm actually glad you said that, because that's something we have to remember, because I feel like people think that it's easy, when they get to where we're at, and it's like not. Like I said, Michelle's on my team and she's freaking amazing, and I don't even follow her, and I talk to her when I want to talk to her, or when we text all the time, but, like, I go to her page when I'm in a good mindset and I want to look for inspiration. But I could not have her on my newsfeed anymore all the time, because I was comparing myself. And that's the same thing for me. Like, I do have kids. She's not married, doesn't have kids, and she literally will tell you, I sit at my computer all damn day talking to people, and that's her jam. Like, she loves it. She does this every day, all day, and that's why she's successful. So I can't do that like I did all last month, and it was psycho. But, like, I do have to go be a mom, and I do have to go do this, and I can't do that. So I couldn't compare myself to her either. So that's something I'm glad that you brought that up, because if there's someone that you're finding yourself that you're comparing to, it's so easy just to unfollow, because I realized that my business was suffering because I kept comparing myself to all these people that aren't even in the same position as me. So it was kind of stupid, because it's like, yeah, they might have a great life, but they also don't have this and this, to where we can't do what they're doing, So
we all have to remember too, is that, like, the Facebook is the highlight reel. And when you go to these Facebook, these leaders pages, get inspired by what they post, but just know they have struggles too. They're real people too. They have parts about themselves they don't like, and problems in their life. And we're honestly, like, every time I go to an event, I just realize, like, there's no perfect person in this business. And one of the things that I heard when I was speaking to Christy Christensen, you guys, right now she's number 11 in the company. She was like, I unfollow everybody. She's like, I love you, but I don't follow you on Facebook. She said she even unfollows all of her leaders. And, when she has a new distributor on her team, she follows them for a little bit so she can help them out. But she's like, it doesn't make you any money by following your team on Facebook. So what I do is I make my own Facebook list, because if you use the one that Facebook has, it like notifies them when you try to put them in there. But I just do like IWG peeps, and maybe I friend request a leader that I met and I connected with at an event. I will go ahead and unfollow and put them in my It Works peeps. So we're still friends, but it's not making money by just having people on my newsfeed. Okay, so I have another question for you. So a lot of people are wondering, so you're back, you got your mojo back, you're doing things completely different now. How did you, in your, I'll call it your rise, how did you keep from falling back into the excuses and basically changing the whole way that you did business?
I think in the beginning it was hard. And in the beginning it was hard because while I started to like do good in January and stuff, it still was hard to see that bigger picture. And it was hard for me to see, like, because my husband went back to work, and he would have been fine if he didn't, but he was kind of tired of being at home and not doing anything and not being able to contribute anything. So when he went back to work and stuff in January and I started doing good again, I think what was hard is that, like, it was still really, really nearly impossible to picture me making 5 figures a month again. But I never have done self-development in the business until this year, because I'm like, I got to do something to keep my heart filled up, because it's hard. It's so hard to see that for yourself when you've been down for so long. And so definitely one of like the forms I really love, I look forward to all week, going to church on Sunday. I feel like that's like my 1 hour to just not have to do anything. And I love that. I feel like that's a good form of self-development. I also have a Bible study once a week that I unplug from. And I just try to unplug a little bit every day and just pour into my heart, because I don't know. I still have pity parties for myself. Like, I'm going to be honest. I went Pres last month, and then come May 1st, I definitely slept in and I took like the day off because it was freaking, it's hard. But then like May 2nd came and I'm like, I don't know what to do really. And then May 3rd came, and then May 4th. And I'm like, I don't even know like really what to even do. Like, I don't even know what to do. And it was just weird. Like, it was a weird feeling, because I just felt like I pushed for that promotion and now I'm like stuck again. And I don't know. You get in your own head. And so I just started digging deep again in my faith and in just pouring into myself and personal growth. And I feel like that's a big thing in keeping your mind right, so that you don't get those excuses, because it's so easy to, my husband, though, I'm lucky because my husband calls it as it is, and he sees when I'm like not doing it, or if I have something, like I have this for my enrollment. This is what has helped me this year. I make May enrollments. I put it right here. I usually tape it to right by my keyboard. And then I have my goals. And so like, this looks like crap right now because I haven't signed a single loyal customer. And so my husband sees that too. And he'll always call me out, because I think he's so scared now, because we've like gone from the top to the bottom. He doesn't want it to happen again. And so just having, an accountability partner, whether it's someone, your significant other, or someone, your best friend in the business, that's really helped me too, because I feel like I'm being, it's a little scary, because I feel like I'm being watched by so many people for me to fail again. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's weird. It's really weird when you've lost it all at one point. So just keeping your mind right and staying public with things, and just continuing to bring people in, even if it's just filling out the minimum steps to success every month. That's just really what has helped me. And just finally, like, fully being able to say, I believe in this company, and I believe like I can keep going. I'm not just meant for this amount of money every month or whatever it is.
I like it. And I like, you and I are the same as far as, I've got my monthly goals and my steps to success, or, however many I want to enroll that month. And so I think it's honestly, and if I'm being honest, the months where I don't do as well, I didn't have them up on my fridge.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So I think, I know we've already been on for an hour, so I just want to ask you one more thing. Let's see. Let me find one of the questions that, so as far as Facebook, this isn't one of my questions, but as far as Facebook, are you just basically adding people you may know, or, how are you growing your network on Facebook?
I've gotten past the point of being able to, like, I started off with my husband. I added all his females, and then I went to my best friends that were in my wedding, but still have never joined and never will. And I added all theirs. I've gotten past the point of being able, like, I feel like I maxed that part out. So I just dig deep in the sense of maybe going to my recent friends and seeing someone that wasn't, that's hard because it's a lot of It Works people add me now, but like going to my friends list and just scroll, stop, and then finding someone that I don't have a lot of mutual friends with, and then I just make it as simple as going to their profile pictures, and if it's someone that has like 60 likes, I start adding all those girls. It's just harder as you do this more and more, and you have more and more Facebook friends to like dig deep so that you don't overlap with someone. Because I will, like, sometimes I keep going and I'm like, okay, if there's 60 million It Works people on her feed, like, it's so hard sometimes to find people that you don't, and it's not like I don't ever, and this is a hard one right now because I'll get on Zooms and I'll be talking with people and people will be like, I never ever add anybody that has one It Works person. And I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that, honestly. I mean, I don't know. It's hard because I guess in some senses, like if you're going to randomly add someone, maybe, but like there have been times where there's been someone on my Facebook that's around here, which again, like Lachelle was from around here. Like we have it, and Jade lives 25 minutes away from me. Like this part is getting pretty maxed out, but there's been people that have been around here that I've added that have had a mass amount of mutual friends, and I've messaged them and they've been like, no one has ever messaged me about it before. So it's like, it's hard because it's like, you don't want to just rule them off because that person might have never messaged them. But if it's someone like, I've gone to somebody's Facebook and it, like, let's say if Katie was the only mutual friend and then you see Katie's been recently like liking all this stuff, like I would say that would be off limits, you know? But sometimes, you know, that person doesn't even know they're friends, like, and you just never know. So I definitely just try to dig deep and try to find people with not a lot of mutual friends that are It Works people, and just add away. That's something that's so important to me to do. If I could do only one thing every single day, it'd be expanding my network, because it's just so crucial.
Well, thank you. You don't have a business page, do you?
I do, but I can't get it. So like, I put money into it and I tried it and I got a couple loyals from it, but like it was 10 times more work and it was too hard. I stopped doing it. So
okay,
it's hard. It's hard for me.
Yeah, I made a business page when I first started It Works, and I haven't touched it in 3 years. So I really need to delete it. Okay, so here's my last question. And I think, every single person in this business deals with this. When you have distributors that aren't quote unquote motivated and they just, they don't do, they're the 80%, let's face it, they're the 80% that produce 20% of the work. So, I guess I'm really straightforward in the fact that, like, how do you just kind of say, all right, I can't work with you anymore if you're not going to do anything. But I know we have to run with our runners, and we have to recognize not to spend too much time and energy into people that aren't producing. But how do you deal with that? Because I feel like it's a constant battle for everybody.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has their own ways on points to where like enough is enough. And I don't really even know if I could even say like, when is that point for me when enough is enough? But I feel like whenever you get to that point when, if you truly feel like you can say you gave them opportunities to get on Zooms or like every opportunity or help them as much as you possibly could, I just take it, and I'm the same way. That's when I really am a red bee, because it's just kind of like, it's just annoying. I mean, it's annoying, let's just be honest. But I just literally will say, I think I do the same thing as you, because I just say, I feel like, and a lot of times it's people that have all those excuses too. I message everybody though. No one will message me back. Like, it freaking drives me crazy. I just say, listen, I haven't seen you on a Zoom yet. Or I just call them out for what it is. I haven't seen you on a Zoom yet. Or I told you in the beginning that this is not a get rich quick thing, and it does take time. I feel like I've done everything I can do, and that you just truly don't want it bad enough for yourself yet. So when that changes, come find me, because I feel like I can't do anything else for you. And I just say that. And a lot of times they do quit, but it's like, cool, because I don't want to keep wasting my time. And I just think what's best for that is that you just call it as it is, instead of continuing to baby them, because I think we've all been in that position too, where we keep doing that. But sometimes though, that's helped me in the sense of people being like, you're right, like I'm being a freaking baby over this. And I joined for a couple $100 and it's only been 5 days, like, and they've seen it that way. That's rare though. It's kind of, that doesn't happen that much, because usually they don't have the vision and it's not their time right now, and that's fine. I just tell them. And if it's someone that whatever the case, they talk about money, I just say, and sometimes they don't even try to talk them off the ledge. And I'm like, why don't you turn off your auto shipment and you turn off your website, and then you can just sit there inactive until you get your mind right and you can come back in. And sometimes, again, like sometimes that there has been a couple times where that person's like, dang, you're just going to let me go? Like, I don't want to. Or they just do that because it's just a freaking headache, and we don't have time for that headache.
I agree with you. There's never a right way to. I don't want to say like let somebody go, but in your heart, like you really have to. It's hard for all of us to let go and just accept the fact, like, okay, this person clearly doesn't want it. Is making, if somebody's being an excuse factory, you just have to move on. And so it's like Sarah said, it's easier to give birth than to raise the dead, right?
Dude, for real.
So, so I don't know. I appreciate you getting on with us so much. And I just know that we're all so inspired by your story. And I'm going to ask you the most cliche question ever, but what is everybody on here is diamond or above. And, I'm at the point where I'm going for ambassador. I've got people on here going for presidential. I've got people, everybody on here is going for double and above. Okay. So you can be really, really real as much as you want.
I would say, I think it's deeper than like believing what you have your hands on, but I would just say, having a clear vision of like who you're going to use. And okay, so I know something that was hard for me was in January when I got paid as a diamond, getting that diamond chart out and recharting myself and seeing those empty boxes again. That was really, really hard. Like I was crying as I was erasing names and like putting names in because I'm like, this is so ugly to see. And I'm going for prez. Like that was what's crazy. And so I don't know if there's people on here right now that maybe are not the true rank, that maybe they're being paid as a rank below or whatever, but you're still going for a rank above. Getting, going back a couple of charts and, really filling it out with those that are working and just pouring your heart and soul into them and seeing that, because it does something for it and it does something for your mind. And it's funny because I'm accountability partners with one girl I don't think anyone knows, and then Claire Flores, and we've been since January because we were going for prez at the same time. She went prez a month before me, and I wouldn't say she's ever really been like a crazy top enroller for distributors. Kind of, but she printed off her ambassador chart after she went prez, signed like 7 distributors in like 3 days. And I'm like, girl, like, what are you doing? Because she was like in a little bit of a mini slump after she went prez too. And she was like, I'm telling you, like having that chart like with actual names of people that are on it just does something for your mind. And I was over here too, like thinking I was so far from the next promotion, and it's hard to actually fill out the names and see how far you really are. But I would definitely say that for hitting those promotions, to just really just go back until you fill that chart out, and then get your double out, and then get your triple out, and then just knowing who you're going to run with and having that conversation with them so that they know that you're in this and you're willing to help them and like you're going for it. Because I think there's something to be said when you actually put it out there that you're going for something. That's something too, I think that I could end on is, I was talking about this last night, and I said, I think the biggest thing you can do to help your business is Facebook should always know the promotion you're going for, and whether it's Ruby or Executive or whatever it is. But for the most part, Diamond and above, that's something that I've never not done. And so like I took a year to go triple. So I was talking about triple for that whole year. I took a year to go prez. But last month when I actually knew and I was like, I'm going to go prez, I talked about it every single day. I'm going prez and I'm getting this bonus. I'm going prez. So where so many people were messaging me that weren't even a part of It Works that were like, have you gone prez yet? Have you? And like, I don't know. It's like people knew about it. And then on that last day, Megan and Tiffany were coming that night for me to promote. That morning, I got 3 messages from people that have just been like my like social media friends that haven't joined for whatever reason. They messaged me and they were like, I know this isn't much, but like, can I buy a Confianza to help your promotion? And I'm like, yes. Like, yes, you can. That's so nice. And it's just so many people shared my video that weren't a part of It Works. Like, just people were so excited for me, and I feel like helped me go because I was so open with it, and they knew what presidential was without even being a part of the company. So people should definitely know the promotion you're going for too, and I feel like that holds you accountable, because there were definitely times where last month I'm like, I don't know if I can pull in all this volume, and that's going to be pretty freaking embarrassing, but I got to do it. So I just guess having that clear vision of what you're going for, vocally talking about it and having, I mean, I think what's also important, and I never did this until press, was telling those people that I need, like, I need you to go press. I need you for this, for me to go press. I've never done that because I didn't want people to like think I'm using them or whatever it is. But that was really, I mean, because for the most part, I think your team likes you. I mean, I'm sure there's people on my team that don't like me, whatever. But they were like, okay, I'm ready to do this. Like, let's run together. I will be your Emerald Cheer Press, I promise. And then they were my priority and I ran with them. And I just started there. So do know, like, if you're someone on here that's like, well, I don't even know where to begin, I'm only really a diamond or whatever. I was like that in January and I didn't have much to pull into my VIP chat. I put in 6 people that once were rubies, but they were all paid as distributors or executives. So I didn't have much to go from, but I had to start from somewhere and I had to pull them somewhere. So, and it did something when I had that mini VIP chat and they were my main priority and then everybody was my priority. That did something for them too, because they're like, she sees me and she believes in me. And none of them had ever filled out their steps to success. And in February, they all filled out their first steps to success, which is crazy because they've been in it for 2+ years. But I mean, you got to start somewhere. And so I think when you believe in them, you see your vision, you can see their vision, you guys can do it together, but you have to first like pull that Band-Aid off and get that chart out and step back. And it sucks ASS, but you got to do it, I think, to see what you really need so that you can build strong.
I love that so much, because even myself, I've been, an ambassador chart, that's a lot of charts. Or if you print out the actual, somebody made an ambassador chart, that thing is huge. And so I think the higher rank you get, you're like, okay, well, I've just got all these different charts, but when you actually have it out, different story.
Yeah.
So, well, I just appreciate you so much for being on with us and being very open and telling your story and giving us all of your juicy tips. And it's so awesome how you've just taken this year by the horns and just kicked ass. And now you're going ambassador.
Yes. Thank you for asking me. I'm going to text you when I get off. I'll text you like in order that status and the stuff to say.
Yes, because I know we definitely want to see that, and that would be super helpful. And then I'll let you know when I have the recording.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for having me on, Katie.
Thank you so much for being on.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.